Hi everyone, I'm back for part 2 of Art Journal from Scratch, and here is our first page with the collage. Now, before I forget, because I always forget to mention some stuff when I'm making a video, about your options instead of using a newspaper. You can also use magazines if you have them. If you have an IKEA catalog, a phone book, yellow pages, you can use whatever paper you have to make your journal. The cheapest it is, the better for you to experiment, because you don't feel like it's a waste if something doesn't work for you. So I've got this collage, and it's very bright. I love it. I love that it looks like a quilt, but basically I would like to put some focal image here, and I don't want it to get lost in all this busy background. So there are several ways to tone this down and to make the whole background come together. If you've seen a lot of mixed media and art journaling videos, you've probably seen smearing gesso all over the page and thought, like I did at first, what the heck is she doing? It was so lovely, why is she covering it up with gesso? So it took me some time, but at last I understood it. You do take gesso, but you water it down. You just want to tone down your page and to bring it all together. Now, of course, sometimes there are mistakes and the gesso is just too thick and a lovely background is just going to waste, but you can always fix things and do another layer. So, as I promised, everything from scratch. Now, there are a lot of videos with recipes for gesso. Go look for them. I don't use a recipe. I never use, not even when I'm cooking. It works for me. It doesn't work for other people. Again, I'm using baby talc with talcum. I'm not sure how to say it. Talc powder, and I can find it cheap. If you can't find something like that cheap because it's for babies, use plaster of Paris, or even a more cheap idea for making gesso. You don't make it. You just buy any wall compound in your hardware store, and it's cheaper than any product that will say it's gesso and it's in craft stores or art stores. When it's in a hardware store, it's cheaper and you get a lot more amount of material for what you are paying. So basically, it's talc powder, white glue, acrylic paint, but now I'm using the cheap stuff. This is for kids, for kindergarten, but it works for me, and I don't want to waste my acrylic paint on this. This is the cheapest paint there is, so I'm using it to make my gesso. Now, I've done this a lot of times, and when I want a big amount, I will put it in a jar with a good lid so it will keep. And do not be tempted to use flour. Flour will react with the moisture and you will have mold. So I'm just eyeing it, and it depends what texture I want, and if I want it thick or thin, if I want it runny or not. Do whatever is best for you. Experiment. If you are not sure, experiment on the side. Just smear it on your drop paper or any other kind of surface to see how it goes. Like here I see it's transparent, but I like it. I will only add a little bit more of the white paint. This is called here gouache paint, and I heard some refer to it as tempera or something like that, tempera paint. So the next thing you can this mixture of talc, glue, water and paint can basically be also made to be a texture paste. You just need it more thick. You just add more talc or a plaster of Paris. So again, it just depends on how much you put from each ingredient. So now I've got this, and I'm going to I thought I'm going to use a brush, but I'm thinking now that maybe I need a sponge, because I want it, I don't want an even coverage for my page, and sponge is another household items that we can use, and it's a cheap material. I'm talking about synthetic sponge that you can find anywhere. And basically I'm starting with a cut, but then I'm tearing it because I don't want it even. I don't want to see straight edges. Of course there will be some, but I'm trying to minimize the straight edges. So I'm dipping the sponge in the gesso I made, but I'm not going to put it directly on my page. First, dab it somewhere and see that it doesn't have too much. You don't want too much on your page. Like this. And I'm going to continue. Again, dipping it, putting it on another surface, just so I will have a dab and not a big smear of gesso. Just so you will see the difference, I'm taking a brush, dipping it here. This is how it would have looked if I used the brush, and I prefer it with the sponge. I hope it's in frame, and I hope that you can see the difference. Now, as long as it's still wet, if you don't like it, take a baby wipe and just take off whatever excess gesso you like. So it's wet and you can still make corrections to what you've done. I need more gesso. I really hope I'm in frame. Okay. I have a little bit of black pieces here that I want to really tone down. I don't want them to be dominant on my page. So I will go wherever there is this black and dab more with my gesso, like here. Okay, so here is the toned down background that is starting to look a little bit more cohesive, and I'm thinking I'm going to let it dry, and either let it dry by its own, or if you have a blow dryer, what you use for your hair, use it. I'm not using my heat tool, it's not a household item, and I found that the heat tool is sometimes it's if you are not careful, it reacts with the glue and things starts to bubble. So I'm pausing the video, letting it dry, and I'll come back and we'll see what we are going to do with the page. I'm back. So I want to add more interest and to make my page more cohesive. It's not enough for me, the gesso. I'm taking bubble wrap, and I've got here light blue acrylic paint. I'm smearing it so I won't have clumps, or I don't know, forgot the word. And I'm just going all around, not thinking too much about it. Lumps, not clumps, lumps. Sometimes the word just escaping me. Okay, this is one, and now I'm going to put some circles with a white acrylic paint that I have here. Again, I'm smearing it. I don't care if it gets with the light blue. Taking a bottle lid and stamping it around my page. Don't think about it, go with the flow. I like when I'm doing this kind of stamping, I like to go outside the edges. For me it looks more interesting, not like I try to coral everything inside the frame. Okay, now I want another, let's wipe it on the sponge. I want little circles, and this, I'm always keeping things that can make a circle. Let's see what I can find for a little circle. Okay, felt pen, and I will take the lid and make a print with it. Okay, more white paint, again smearing it. It's nice to overlap them. Okay, I think this is it for now. Wiping it on my sponge. putting it for a little bit aside. It needs to dry down, and I don't want to waste any paint, so it's either going to my notebook of excess paint or on my drop paper. Okay, finished with this. Let's see, maybe that's it. Used all the paint. How frugal of us. Okay, so here is our page. Again, I'm pausing. I need it to dry, and we'll continue. Okay, I'm back. So now I want some focal image. Another idea for frugal crafting. Pages from books, from dictionaries, old encyclopedias. No one reads encyclopedias anymore. You've got Google. So I'm taking one page and folding it. I want to have some kind of square. Starting to fold it. Basically, it's what we've done as kids. Just make sure that where you cut it, I will draw it with the felt pen so you will see what I'm doing. That you leave the last crease intact when you cut it. I'm drawing like a petal of a flower. I'm just using it as a guide. And here we go. I have the start for a flower, and if I've made it with a glossy paper from a magazine, I would have also be left with basically a stencil. I can even save this and make this a stencil. You just need to put it inside a book, let it get straightened out, and then if you cover it gently with the glue, first from one side, let it dry, and then the other, it will be more firm, and you can use it as a guideline or as a stencil. So I've got here another one flower. I want another one. I want them in different sizes. So basically I'm repeating the same process. I'm just looking to make them in several sizes, and then I'm going to paint them with acrylic paint. No, it's even bigger, I think. Okay, now you can make them also with two, you can make them 2 layers, so it's more interesting, or 3 layers. So I'm going to keep cutting these flowers, and then I'll come back. I'm back. So I've got here the flowers. Now I want them painted, but not completely. So I'm going to take an acrylic paint. This is Deco Art bright blue, and I'm going to add water to it. And I'm just going to paint my flower. So the printed words would still be showing through. Again, it adds more to your work. Okay. I let it dry. I want each of the flowers to be in a different color, and I don't want them to repeat each other. Oops. Be careful, work from the inside outside. I need more paint. Okay, another one needs to dry. So, let's see. What other color would I use? I'm thinking about yellows and oranges. I want it vibrant. Almost always I'm using vibrant colors. Just how it is. For me at least. I think through time each one develops his own signature, his own colors, even without realizing it. Okay, again a little bit of water. It's not good. I need to replace my brush so the paint won't get all muddied up from the blue from before. Okay. I'm gonna finish painting the flowers, and this will be for now for part 2. My 30 minutes are about to be over, and I don't want the video to stop on itself. And let's see. I'm trying to hurry up so at least the flowers will be done for this part of the video. Yeah, I'm adding a little bit on the edges from the orange just to make it more interesting. I'll do the same here because, well, I've got more paint, so why not? Okay, leaving it to dry. Okay, so I'll come back for part 3 with the flowers and we'll continue. Bye for now.